welcome to Up South today at 6:30 for all the top news stories from South India with me, Tia Sudhir. Do ATMs in India translate to any time in murder? That seems to be the case because after cases of brutal assault and even a murder of a security guard at an ATM in Bengaluru just 4 days back. Today, a customer, was assaulted and her jewellery and mobile phone was looted by an assailant inside an ATM.
Another loot carried out at an ATM. This time at the busy Yusufguda market in Hyderabad. Wednesday morning, a person armed with a pistol looted a girl of her chain, earrings and a Samsung cell phone. The man also asked for her ATM card and PIN number, and the helpless girl had no choice but to oblige.
అయితే పిన్ నెంబర్ చెప్పు అని నేను పిన్ నెంబర్ చెప్తుంటే పిన్ నెంబర్ టైప్ చేశాడు అక్కడే. బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎంక్వైరీ చూసుకుని బ్యాలెన్స్ మనీ తీసుకుని ఏటీఎం కార్డ్ తీసుకుని చేతిలో మెడలో ఉన్న చైన్, ఇయర్ రింగ్స్, చేతుకున్న రింగు తీసేమన్నాడు.
The police confirming that there was no guard posted at the ATM, a major security breach.
ये एटीएम का गार्ड अभी यहाँ कुछ नहीं है, गार्ड की प्रबंधक कुछ नहीं है, गार्ड जो एसबीआई का एटीएम है, ये यहाँ गार्ड का प्रबंध कुछ नहीं है.
The incident, a chilling reminder of the attack on a woman in Bengaluru by a man with a machete in 2013 and another one on an ATM guard last Sunday, leaving the general populace fearful about walking into an ATM. With ATMs turning into a choice spot for loot and robbery, a concerted effort from the police, the administration and the bank authorities is the need of the hour to tackle this growing menace. With Tia Sudhir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Joining me now from Chennai is my colleague Pratibha Raman. Pratibha, we have seen several such cases in Bengaluru and today this case, horrific case coming out of Hyderabad. Now, what are the concerns that you are talking to people there on the streets of Chennai where you are now and also in Bengaluru as to what are the voices of concern, because obviously everyone does go to an ATM every now and then?
Well, Sudhir, I'm right now in Chennai, one of the central areas of Chennai, Penampet, and this is inside a complex, and what you see is an SBI ATM. You do have CCTV cameras inside, but there's absolutely no security guard. Though it is inside a complex, people were thinking that it will be safe, but then now they have second thoughts after hearing about such incidents, both in Bangalore as well as Hyderabad. I have with me one such person, ma'am. Despite having a security guard or not, despite having a CCTV camera or not, do you think twice before stepping into an ATM alone?
Of course I think twice, because the security person don't have gun with them and don't have any other instrument with them, which is actually not safe, because he is also a man, he can be attacked at any time. So I feel that it's not secure to get into ATM. And I would like to tell that there should be any alarm system which should be help people immediately. Not even it should take a second. It should help people immediately.
Two main suggestions that Chennaiites have. One, have an alarm bell of sorts that they could immediately press for any kind of emergency. Number two, armed or trained security guards, and that would make them feel safe in today's world, in today's scenario where you hear about such incidents. Subir.
Right. Pratibha, also just bring us up to speed as to what is really happening in the case involving the murder of that security guard in Bengaluru just 4 days ago. Has the police in Bengaluru managed to make any kind of breakthrough in that?
Well, the police seem to say that they are near yet so far, and this is the phrase that they've been using off the record. But the police do say that there are definite clues and leads that are available, but then they need some more time to get there. 6 teams that have been formed, all of them working really very hard. In fact, one close look at the CCTV footage that the police explained to me was that the man came in a bandana that was covering even the eyebrows. So there's only 60% of the face that is seen on the CCTV cameras, that is really not enough to actually give you a full clear picture of the face. So that has been causing one particular problem. But the fact is that they've narrowed in on some of the other factors, like he is a localite and he's been speaking the local language there. These are some of the clues that they've been working on, but then they do seem to tell us that they need some more time, Sudhir.
Right. In November 2013, a lady called Jyoti Uday was assaulted inside an ATM in Bengaluru. And I think we have on the phone line Mr. Uday Kumar, husband of Jyoti Uday. It was a very difficult time for you, Mr. Uday Kumar. Do you think banks all over the country have learnt a lesson from what your wife Jyoti Uday went through after November 2013?
Yes, sir. And we were very much telling after the incident, we had been telling that they should be provided 24/7 in all the ATMs.
Right.
So people should feel safe when entering ATM counter.
Right. I must ask you this. Does your wife still feel scared whenever she has to go to an ATM? Obviously, she must have gone after recovering from that fatal incident. Does she go to an ATM and does she feel scared?
No. She asked us to accompany her. And she also advises people not to go alone. Maybe in some remote places there is an ATM. She will advise that she should be accompanied by someone, so they can feel safe there.
Right. Okay. And what would you think banks should do to make these ATMs safe? Because that's really an interface with the customers. As someone whose wife went through absolute trauma and agony after being assaulted inside an ATM, and we saw those absolutely horrific shots during from that ATM in Bengaluru in November 2013. What do you advise banks should really do? Because obviously they need to take care of their customers.
Yes, sir. It is a duty of all banks to see that their customers are safe enough, and they should provide enough security, and it should be a foolproof security. So this can be avoided if security is enough. Now it can be avoided. This type of incidents can be avoided.
Absolutely. Mr. Uday Kumar, thanks a lot for joining us on Up South. Pratibha, stay on with us. We will come back to you for another story from Karnataka. But first, the story from Kerala. Let's go in for that story. A college professor, Shashi Kumar, has died after he was hit by an official vehicle in which Kerala's Social Welfare Minister M.K. Munir was travelling. In fact, he was travelling from Trivandrum when this accident took place near Kayamkulam, and he was rushed to the Alappuzha Medical College, and a police case has been registered against the driver of that vehicle. Munir was travelling from Trivandrum to Malappuram when the accident took place on Monday night, and Professor Shashi Kumar passed away on Tuesday, and the minister was using a white Range Rover bearing the number plate of Kerala state. And what's interesting is that the car is registered in the name of an industrialist who is a member of the Muslim League, the party to which M.K. Munir belongs. Joining me now is my colleague Revati Rajivan, who has been tracking that story. Revati, now how has the state government reacted? Because this is an accident leading to death of a professor involving the minister. How has the state government reacted to this tragedy?
Well, immediately after the incident on Monday midnight, M.K. Munir said that it was Shashi Kumar's fault which caused the accident. But later on today, Chief Minister Umman Chandi reacted to this particular incident. The CM said that it was completely okay to use a private vehicle for ministers as long as the General Administration Department approves it. And it is very common that ministers use taxis and other private vehicles with ministers' light and nameplates, as long as they have a sanction from the General Administration Department. But according to the witnesses who were present at the spot that time.
No, Revati, you made the point that M.K. Munir was blaming the professor. Now, how did this accident take place? Was this minister's vehicle overspeeding because of which the accident took place? Or was Professor Shashi Kumar at fault? Why is the minister straight away, without a proper police probe, blaming the professor in this particular incident?
Well, when the accident took place, Shashkumar was travelling back home on his two-wheeler, and the accident took place at around midnight. Immediately, as soon as the accident took place, he was rushed to the hospital, but he succumbed to his head injury. But although Munir said that it was Shashkumar's fault, the traffic police has registered a case against Munir's driver, Samir. But so far, they have not arrested Samir, although the vehicle is under custody. But the police have not said whose fault it really is.
Right, Revati, let's also listen into what the Kerala Chief Minister, Mr. Umman Chandi, had to say about this accident and a terrible tragedy involving Professor Shashikumar from Alappuzha.
മതിയായ പെർമിഷൻ തന്നെ എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായില്ല. ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതിന് ഒരു തടസ്സമില്ല. നിങ്ങൾ ഈ മുമ്പിലെ ബോർഡും മുകളിലത്തെ ലൈറ്റും കണ്ടുകൊണ്ടെല്ലാം സ്റ്റേറ്റ് വണ്ടിയാണെന്ന് ധരിക്കരുത്. പലപ്പോഴും ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ സഞ്ചരിക്കുന്ന വണ്ടികൾ ടാക്സികളായിരിക്കും. ടാക്സിയെ സ്റ്റേറ്റിൻ്റെ ബോർഡ് വെച്ച് മുകളിൽ ലൈറ്റും വെച്ചായിരിക്കും പോകുന്നത്. കാരണം ചില സമയത്ത് ഗസ്റ്റ് ഹൗസുകളിലൊക്കെ എറണാകുളവും.
Right, so the Kerala Chief Minister, they are making the point that there is really nothing wrong with using a private vehicle so long as it is cleared by the General Administrative Department of the state government. And this is a practice which is used largely by Kerala, that whenever vehicles of state ministers go outside of the state capital, they use these private vehicles which have the Lal Batti on it and also has the VIP number plate. Revati Rajivan, thanks a lot for joining us there on this story from Kerala. Now, it was a case of mob justice coming from the outskirts of Bengaluru. In fact, this morning, 20-year-old Srikanth and his friend from Bidar were badly beaten by a group of people in Electronic City, which is in Bengaluru. Now, last night, they reportedly tried to molest a woman in the area, and the locals heard her scream, but the two fled before the neighbors could catch the duo. But the locals identified the two accused, tracked them down this morning, tore their clothes, and beat them with slippers before handing them over to the city police. Right, let me cut across to my colleague Pratibha Raman, who brought us this story. Pratibha, we are seeing the visuals of this person being tied to a tree and being beaten by slippers by both men and women. Now, have you managed to speak to the locals out there? What's the explanation they are giving for this kind of a mob justice, and how is the police there reacting?
Well, there are two things to this, Sudhir. The citizens say that they are absolutely angry with the justice. They feel that there's not enough justice that's being provided by our Indian constitution. Our Indian judiciary really fails in satisfying some of the victims' demands, and that is why this anger translates into this kind of action. And number two, they also feel that there's a lot of delay right from the arrest to the time that they file the charge sheet, and finally at the end of it he comes out on bail, and that is not what they really want. So before which they want to take law onto their hands and see to it that he's beaten black and blue, their anger translating into that particular action. Only then they feel that they are satisfied. Sudhir.
Right, Pratibha, tell us about the background of this duo. Obviously, something like this taking place in a city like Bengaluru, known to be a cosmopolitan city. You had said that these people are not locals, in the sense that they're not from Bengaluru proper. Now, is an incident like this, where people are treated almost like animals, does not really do good to the image of Bengaluru.
That's right. This has gone further in damaging the reputation of Bangalore, which is already known as the rape capital here in southern India. And the second thing is that, as you rightly pointed out, Sudhir, they are from Bidar, and they come from a very low-income group. They've been working as drivers here for the last couple of years. And yesterday night, they saw heavy rains lashing the city, and they wanted to go out, have some fun. They actually planned and reportedly narrowed in on this particular house, where they found that this girl was actually staying there alone. And that that is when they tried to barge into the house and try to molest her, and that's when she started screaming in pain, and that's when people around in that local area tried to save her from this particular incident. But by the time they could nab the culprits ran away, and the rain caused an impediment in catching the two accused persons immediately. But then they did identify the two persons, and the next day they decided that they would go ahead with this mob justice action. Sudesh.
Okay, Pratibha, obviously this looks very planned, because obviously the entire incident of him being beaten is being shot by the people there. Now, is the police also planning to take action against the people who have actually tied him up and indulging in this kind of mob justice? Is the police planning any action against them?
Well, Sudeep, this is not the first time that such an incident has taken place in Bangalore. We have seen several such incidents where people have taken law into their hands, and the police has promised to take action against them. But in this particular case, will they actually live up to what is said? That remains to be seen. Even in this particular case, the police remains quite tight-lipped about telling us what kind of action that they would take. But then this has been one of their statements ever so often, stating that they would create awareness and that they would see to it that such people are booked. Sudhir.
Right. My last question, Pratibha, you have been speaking also to the human rights activists who have raised a hue and cry over the kind of shots that we are showing on headlines today. What are they saying? Are they likely to kind of approach the State Human Rights Commission on behalf of these two people?
At this point in time, no word has come out from the activists, but then yes, activists do condemn such kind of an act, though they do believe that even the accused persons in our Indian judiciary provides them the kind of platform to put forth their points, to put forth their side of the story, and when that is not really being done, when you do not know what the other story was, how can citizens really take law into their hands? These are some of the questions that the activists have raised, but then it remains to be seen whether they will actually go to the police station and file a complaint against these people and make sure that such incidents do not really repeat themselves. Sudhir.
Right. Pratibha Raman, thanks a lot for bringing us that story. Shocking visuals coming from the outskirts of Bengaluru. Two men accused of molesting a woman being attacked, mob justice being delivered to them in a very, very horrific manner. Surprising that something like this coming out of Bengaluru. Welcome back. You're with Up South. And finally, if you are getting married and you want to invite BJP leader Subramania Swamy to your wedding, you would want to think about it once again. Because for all you know, he may decide to play the bridegroom himself. He almost did that at this wedding, and this hilarious video has gone viral. Please watch it. ये फ्रीज with Right, Subramania Swamy was just being very absent-minded out there at that wedding. That's it then on Up South. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.